What's up, Bob here? Say, got a little something to show you today. How to go from this to this. Do you like that look? If so, stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Roll it.
Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Bob the Builder, yes we can!
So you may be asking, what's up, Bob? Why don't you just take it to a window tinting place and get it done? Well, these windshields are made out of polycarbonate. And I checked with several tint places here in town, and they say if you try to put tint on polycarbonate, you'll eventually get a bunch of bubbles because polycarbonate actually does an outgassing, and that'll get trapped in underneath the tint. So your two options are to spray paint it, which I don't want anything to do, or to go with a semi-transparent vinyl that we can lay on. So we're going to try to do that next. One thing that I'm doing a little different, we're going to try on this first go round, is to put on the inside of the windshield instead of on the outside. If it's on the outside, we're allowed to get a lot of bug nicks and dings or whatever. Might be a little bit harder to clean. This stuff is made to go on headlamps. Again, the name of the company is VVivid, VVivid. You can check out their link down below. But it's made to go on dry, not wet. It's the first dry vinyl ever. So again, I've watched some videos and it looks like we can do this. But again, I'm going to try to put it on the inside of the window. Now, one thing I got to thinking too, it's probably going to turn out a little bit darker than what I was wanting. I wanted kind of a light blue tint, but since my window is already slightly tinted, it's liable to be a lot darker blue. But if that's the case, so be it. I'm not concerned about that. So a couple of things we've done so far while you were away. We took a measurement, and if you can see, I'm measuring across the window, and it measured 23 inches. And I'm measuring the bow. This stuff will shrink, especially once you heat it up or it gets out in the sun. So the roll is 48 inches long. I've got two chances with this. I'm going to lay the first one down on the inside. And if it doesn't work, I got one more roll, half roll I can use. But anyway, so you measure the widest on that bow, and that's 23 inches. So I've already done a pre-cut of the vinyl to 24 inches. So we're almost ready to go. The last step is to clean the inside of the window or wherever the surface is with isopropyl alcohol, and that's to make sure that you get off all of your greasy fingerprints, anything like that. So let me do that and I'll be right back at you. All right. So one thing you don't want is any lint to get trapped underneath there if possible. Things you're going to need. You're going to need the tint, scissors to cut, which I've already done. You're going to need a squeegee at some point, but you need something with a soft edge on it. So I'm using an old Bondo pad that I have. They do make them just made for this application, but a Bondo pad with a felt strip on it to make it a little easier to squeegee it out. And a hair dryer, because what's kind of cool about this stuff, supposedly, if you start to kind of make a mess, you can kind of heat it up, the wrinkles will go away, and you can lay it right back down again. So we're going to try that. I don't know how well it's going to work, but so you remember when I was talking to you about how this stuff, when you lay it down, you can get all the wrinkles and stuff in it? It's really pretty amazing stuff. So this was a little scrap I had cut off, right? All looks nice and shiny right now. So you see what I just did there? Pretty well. Just wadded it all up. And so, I'm not sure if you can see or not, there's a bunch of wrinkles. Let me stand in front of it. Bunch of wrinkles in it right now. Now watch when I hit a little heat to this stuff. they're gone. That's what's so cool about it. It has kind of a nanotechnology to it that you could go ahead and take this stuff back down, lay it back down, squeegee it out, keep right on using it. All right, here she comes. So since this has a bit of a honeycomb pattern in it, you wouldn't want to put this up in your line of sight. Like I was mentioning earlier, it's made for headlamps. And the guys that put that on really know what they're doing, as opposed to me, like I'm just a dorcas. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it about a little bit more than a half an inch over, because what we're trying to do is make sure we have enough by the time we end up getting over to the other side. And you can see it comes back off pretty easy as long as you haven't done heat. Once you put the heat to this stuff, you can still pull it back up. You can still readjust as needed. But that's when you have to go ahead and get the hair dryer out to kind of help smooth off some of those wrinkles. So we're going to do just an easy lay down here first. It's going to have a lot of issues, imperfections with it because of the curvature. What we're mainly trying to do is to make sure it's long enough for this entire dealio. And I'm overlapping the metal slightly because I'm going to want to be able to heat it and try to tuck it into that crease later. Yeah, I can see why they would want to just do this on the outside, because on the inside this is definitely more of a challenge. All right, just to kind of show you what we got going on. It does have that nice kind of blue look that I'm looking for. So we're going to just take the squeegee now, and we're going to start trying to just start working these little air bubbles out. And you can kind of hear it. Do you hear that? With my new Instamic. And as you're going, if we make a little bit of a mess, it's not a problem, because we'll be able to continue to pick it up and reattach it as needed. So I'm having a little trouble right over here in this one little area right here. Up here is not too bad right now. Right here, there's a little bit of a crease that's developing. So we're going to kick on the Wise hair dryer. Got a little heat going. Just going to lift that back up a little bit. This stuff is kind of cool because then it's stretchable, and you can pull that back down again. And get more of that out. Very exciting crap. Again, the trick is, Yep. So I'm going to keep working on this. Don't want to bore you right now. Take a short break, and I'll show you what she looks like when I'm getting ready to trim her up. Be right back. All right, so you're back. You can see I'm still working on this. Probably been working on it for about 15 minutes right now. And it's really coming along pretty good looking. No, you can't tell much from there, but from this side, really pretty good. So this part I'm doing now, if you notice, I haven't trimmed anything off yet, right? So I could still stretch it. As I heat it up now for this final time, it's going to start to shrink up a little bit more. And when I put some heat like on this inside, I've been taking my squeegee, kind of like this, put some heat to it. And what that does, it warms it up enough where you can take your squeegee, apply some pressure, and you can force it more up into that edge so that when I come back in to cut, I should be able to do a real nice cut with my X-Acto knife right up along that edge. Now, the other reason we want to keep doing this heat like this is because if you didn't get it laid down and well enough, you'll start to see air bubbles pop up, or maybe an air bubble along the seam possibly. And so after you start to heat it, you'll be able to come back to your squeegee and again keep working those out. The other thing I'm doing is working it around the edge real well. So like I'll come to this edge right over here. I'm going to heat it up. Because I want that edge nice and straight when I get ready to cut that, right? So I'm just kind of going in at a little bit of an angle right along that edge, hard edge, once I have all my bubbles out. And again, I'm going to try to make a cut right along that line. So it's not the easiest process, but I think I'm liking it actually. So stay tuned, and when you come back next, I'll be starting to cut off some of this excess. Be right back. And I'm back. So, wasn't gone too long there. So what do you think? Got the edges not too bad. There's an imperfection here or there that was because it was my first time. I'm going to work on a few little things here yet, but I'm going to put the hardware on next. And then let's take this thing outside, put it on the Fat Boy, and see if Honey likes it or not. Let's go. All right, we're out here at the park. I know you're ready to take a look at this. I think it looks pretty cool. So here you go. So what do you think? Do you like the look? I'm kind of liking it. That blue windscreen, it kind of looks like I'm ready to go out and ride for chips or something. I don't know, but it gives me definitely that old school looking vibe that I was hoping to get. And if you notice, I was after the last bit of video I did, I was even able to do the vent in the wrap. That stuff is the real deal. It is really pretty easy to work with. Now the test of time is going to be, well, what does it look like? How does it hold up once it gets hot? Had to really work the edges quite a bit in order to get it down nice. So once it gets hot, is it going to want to release? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So, hope you enjoyed that little video today. If you're planning on doing something similar, leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed what you saw today, do the same thing. Hit that subscribe and ring a dingy bell. In the meantime, this is What's Up Bob saying, see you soon.